What's up, guys? How's it going? Mr. Allen coming back for another ODFP, another old dead famous people showcase. And in today's showcase, we are going to be talking about Rudyard Kipling, a writer that was known for his short stories, novels, and poems. He's going to gain worldwide fame and popularity when he wrote The Jungle Book and the poem The White Man's Burden. And it's significant. You have to remember that he is going to live during the era of new imperialism from the years 1865 to 1936. And this is obviously going to influence his writings, okay? You have to understand that imperialism is when one country is going to dominate and take over another for political and or economic gain. And there's going to be four key motives that Europeans/Westerners are going to use in imperializing lands in both Africa, Asia, and Latin America. The first motive is an economic one. All right, the first motive is going to be economic interests that spur expansion. With the Industrial Revolution, guys, creating new needs and desires that spurred overseas expansion, we're going to see manufacturers wanting access to natural resources. In addition to acquiring more raw materials, Europeans, they're going to want to control, all right, foreign ports full of new consumers that they can trade with. So more resources and more ports can lead to more money for those evil industrialists and capitalists during the Industrial Revolution. The second motive is political and military, all right, military base. Political and military issues were linked to economic motives, and as boats became bigger, faster, and powered by steam engines, guys, bases were needed around the world that they could basically use to help them in getting more supplies, such as coal. Western leaders also claimed that colonies were needed for national security and that ruling a global empire would increase a nation's prestige around the world and their nationalistic pride. Okay, so the second one was political and military base. The third one is going to deal with humanitarian and religious goals. Many Westerners felt a genuine concern for what they viewed as their little brothers beyond the seas, and missionaries and doctors and colonial officials believed that they had a duty to spread what they saw as the blessings of Western civilization. That included spreading new medical advancements as well as new sets of laws and the Christian religion itself. And the fourth and last motive is probably the most influential, and that is going to be when Europeans or Westerners apply a thing called social Darwinism. Behind the idea of the West's civilizing mission was a growing sense of racial superiority in which many Westerners had embraced the ideas of Charles Darwin and his theories of survival of the fittest and natural selection. And they viewed that in a way that could be applied to human societies. Basically, Europeans argued that they were better. An imperial domination of weaker races was simply nature's way of improving human species. As a result, millions of non-Westerners were robbed of their cultural heritage. All right? And those are going to be the four key motives that Rudyard Kipling is going to use in his most famous poem, The White Man's Burden. So let's go back to who Rudyard Kipling was and what did he accomplish. Rudyard Kipling was one of the most famous and popular writers in England, and he was actually awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. Throughout his years, his reputation has changed according to the political and social climate of the age, and was even called a prophet of British imperialism by another famous writer, George Orwell. Now, as I stated earlier, he had a very famous poem called The White Man's Burden. And you have to understand that this White Man's Burden poem would come to symbolize a lot for white European imperialists. His most famous poem, The White Man's Burden, was published in 1899 and consists of 7 stanzas that followed a regular rhyme scheme. At face value, the poem appears to be a rhetorical command to white men to colonize and rule other nations for the benefit of those people. However, Kipling is going to mix in somber warnings of the costs involved, and many Westerners came to understand the phrase white man's burden as a justification for imperialism. Is basically a statement that they use in justifying, making it okay to imperialize other lands throughout the known world. Now, due to the theme and title of the poem, it would later become a symbol for European ethnocentrism and of Western aspirations to improve and both industrialize the developing world. And with that, guys, I'm going to end by focusing back on Rudyard Kipling and his final legacy. He was obviously a really well-known writer, and his world-famous poem, The White Man's Burden, is going to bring the ideas and both the perils tied into European imperialism throughout both the developing and industrialized world. All right, that's all I have for this ODFP showcase dealing with Rudyard Kipling. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Mr. Allen signing off. I'll see you later. Take care, guys.